Research is a systematic and a planned activity carried out in a series of steps towards the discovery and development of an organized body of knowledge. It is a purposeful activity to obtain solutions to meaningful questions about phenomena or events through the application of a scientific approach. Thus, research can be summarized as an objective, impartial, empirical, and logical analysis and recording of controlled observations that may lead to the development of generalizations, principles, or theories, resulting to some extent in prediction and control of events that may be consequences or causes of some specific phenomena. Best and Khan have summarized the main characteristics as research is directed towards the solution of a problem. It attempts to determine the relationship between two or more variables. Research emphasizes the development of generalizations, principles, or theories that will be helpful in predicting the future occurrences. Research is based upon observable experience or empirical evidence. Research demands accurate observation and description. The researcher uses numerical and quantitative methods as the most precise means of description. Research involves gathering new data from primary or first-hand sources or using existing data for a new purpose. It is often characterized by carefully designed procedures, always applying rigorous analysis. Research requires expertise, which is gained by the researcher through a thorough review of related literature. Research strives to be objective and logical, applying every possible test to validate the procedures employed, the data collected, and the conclusions reached. Research involves the quest for answers to the unsolved problems. Research is characterized by a more patient and an unhurried activity. The meaning of educational research. Educational research is a systematic attempt to gain a better comprehension of the processes in education and the appropriate methods and techniques to improve and enhance the quality and efficiency of these processes. Travers states that educational research represents an activity directed towards the development of an organized body of scientific knowledge about the events with which the educators are concerned. There is a need for educational research because of the changing conception of education. The Internal Commission on the Development of Education, in its report Learning to Be, UNESCO Report 1972, emphasizes education from now on can no longer be defined in relation to a fixed content which has to be assimilated, but must be conceived of as a process in the human being who thereby learns to express himself, to communicate, and to question the world through his various experiences and increasingly all the time to fulfill himself. It has strong roots not only in economics and sociology but also in the findings from psychological research which indicate that man is an unfinished being and can only fulfill himself through constant learning. If that is so, education takes place at all the ages of life, in all situations and all circumstances of existence. It returns to true nature, which is to be total and lifelong and transcends the limits of institutions, programs, and the methods imposed on it down the centuries. In the context of the above nature of education, the limits of educational research have to be extended from the formal and conventional modes of education to the non-formal, open and innovative systems based on ecological and cybernetic models. Research can be classified into different types. We are going to see about the classification of research based on research objectives. Based on this, the research is being classified into three types, namely basic research, applied research, and action research. This classification is based on the objectives or the purposes the researcher intends to accomplish. If the purpose is the generation of new knowledge for knowledge's sake, which has no immediate or planned application, the research is basic. Whereas, in the case of applied research, the purpose is improving a process or testing the application of theoretical concepts in actual problem solving. Action research is concerned with the real problem faced by the educational practitioner and the attempts made to find the solutions of the problem. Its focus is on immediate application in a local setting, not on the development of theory. Basic research is otherwise called as fundamental research or pure research, and this research focuses on the development of knowledge or theory. It is domain-driven research intended for theoretical development. The main intention is to expand the man's knowledge. It is analytic in nature. Coming to applied research, it is socially useful application of the knowledge generated to social concerns. It is a demand-driven research to solve social problems. The main intention is to solve the practical problems prevailing in this globe. It is done to test the theories developed by the basic research. Applied research is synthetic in nature. Action research is useful in solving an immediate specific problem. Action research is very useful in solving classroom problems. This research can be conducted by persons with limited training itself. Action research does not demand thorough review of related literature or well-thought experimental design as in basic research. Instead, it focuses on the immediate solution of the problem identified. Action research is also known by the name participatory research, emancipatory research, or collaborative research. Action research is a type of applied research. When we analyze the history of action research, it dates back to the work of Kurt Lewin, who developed the idea in the 1940s. Lewin promoted doing research in a natural setting in order to change the setting or actions in it. His process is reflected in today's idea of action research as an ongoing cycle of planning, acting, observing, and reflecting on change. Kurt Lewin coined the term action research to describe work that did not separate the investigation from the action needed to solve the problem. It was Stephen Covey who applied Levin's idea of action research to an educational setting. He believed that a close examination of one's teaching activities would result in a positive change in the practices. Action research is defined as a systematic inquiry done by teachers or other individuals in an educational setting to gather information about and subsequently improve the ways their particular educational setting operates, how they teach, and how well the students learn. This is the definition given by Mills. According to Stephen M. Covey, action research is defined as the research undertaken by practitioners so that they may improve their educational practices. It helps the person involved in educational setting to perceive, understand and assess the situation and then do a systematic analysis for the unsatisfactory condition. With the help of action research, a practitioner can work out alternative strategies till the problem is solved satisfactorily. For example, when something goes wrong with our class teaching, what do? We may think of the reason and try to solve it. If we think about what we are doing and decide to make a change, then we are doing action research. Action research helps the functionaries to bring in certain amount of improvement or change in the operational areas where they have any direct control or responsibility. For example, a teacher in a secondary school may find some students of class 9s are not able to do well in the science laboratory experiments despite her best efforts. The teacher realizes that something is wrong somewhere, but she is not clear about the reasons or the causes of the non-performance of the students in science, that's her subject. In order to identify these causes, the teacher may undertake an action research. The problem specifically pertaining to mathematics teaching, language teaching, in respect of computation mistakes, spelling mistakes, or pronunciation mistakes is also appropriate for undertaking action research by the teachers. In the context of universalization of elementary education, a teacher may identify some children who have dropped out from the school. The situation is so specific that the solutions are not available in the books or any other source. The concerned teacher or the functionary has to identify the specific reasons or the causes of the dropout by himself or herself and suggest the remedial measures. This situation is also appropriate for undertaking an action research. The second situation, action research may be undertaken for identifying and understanding the needs of the learners. It will help the functionaries to critically analyze the situations and arrive at inferences. 3. The problems of inclusion of illiterate girls of a village in the functional literacy program along with other programs related to health, hygiene, nutrition and child rearing practices are also better understood with the help of action research programs. 4. In the identification and selection of remedial programs or the introduction of some small interventions by the teachers where they have the functional responsibility for bringing the desired changes, action research could be used. Action research has some characteristics which distinguish it from the applied research. Emrc in its report 2003, that's the form of handbook on action research for primary teachers, has described these as under: the need for action research emerges due to the perceived dissatisfaction from a situation by the practitioner and also due to the feeling that there is a need to bring improvement in the existing situation. The second point is action research has implications for changes in the ways and means of doing things. Action research is a small scale intervention. It's a narrowly focused research undertaken by the practitioners in a given context. It is concerned with the real life problem faced by the practitioner, followed by the attempts made to find the solution of the problem. Action research enables teachers or practitioners to engage in critical reflection on specific aspects of their curriculum and pedagogy and bring out desired changes therein. Action research helps teachers to know their students well, interact with them, observe them, and gather data. Action research can be conducted by a single teacher or a team of teachers. Quantitative and qualitative methods can be employed in conducting an action research. Action research is contextual in nature. The teacher of a particular school may feel a particular problem, but the same problem may not be observed in other schools or areas. Action research thus can be referred to as a systematic problem-solving strategy. It helps a teacher or practitioner or any functionary to perceive, understand and assess the situation, and it further facilitates a systematic analysis and the working out plausible reasons for the unsatisfactory conditions. With this, different alternative strategies can be tried out till the problem is solved satisfactorily. Action research as a strategy can be used in many different situations. The action research cycle includes a step-by-step procedure beginning right from sensing a problem through finding probable reasons and causes for the occurrence of that particular problem. After identifying a problem, the practitioner devises a plan to resolve that problem, after which he implements the plan, collect and analyze the obtained data observed according to him. After analysis, the practitioner reflects his ideas on why the problem is occurring and suggests possible solutions to overcome the problems. Hence, an action research report is generated through which the practitioner shares his or her observed findings. The main focus of action research is on immediate application and not developing theory or applying it in the general problem solving. Even though it places its emphasis on a problem in a specific local setting, it does apply scientific thinking and methods to solve real life problems of immediate concern using different steps in a systematic manner. The first step is identification of a problem. The problem for action research emerges out of perceived dissatisfaction with the existing situation and also with the need for bringing out improvement in the situation. Here, the focus is on the questions: what is causing dissatisfaction? Why it is happening? What can be done about it? How can it be done? So, here that's the first stage. The second stage is defining, analyzing and explaining the problem. Once the problem is identified, it needs to be defined, analyzed and explained in operational terms. It requires the understanding of various issues that surround the perceived problem. Then comes the third step, listing and stating the probable causes. This step involves the identification and stating of probable causes in unambiguous terms. Here, the practitioner also needs to spell out the possible strategies with which the problem can be solved in a best possible manner. Next step is the development of propositions or formulation of hypotheses. After stating the probable causes, it is necessary to develop a conceptual and functional relationship which tentatively aims to explain a given situation in the form of hypothesis. This facilitates the process of conducting the action research. Coming to the next step, that's planning, development, implementation and evaluation of action research. This step involves planning and development of a suitable intervention program, its implementation, and examining its effectiveness. The duration of the intervention, modality of its implementation with respect to remediation measures need to be carefully planned. Data is collected using different techniques like observation, interview, field notes, artifacts, distributing questionnaires or writing scales, which is further analyzed and then evaluated. For analysis, the data is organized legibly and it is categorized. The collected data must be summarized and interpreted so that the teachers or the administrators can make decisions on their practices. Drawing conclusions and taking decisions. The impact of intervention program is judged on the basis of the conclusions which are helpful in taking decisions. For this, it is required to compare the present results with that of the previous performance. Then we have to share the results, that is sharing of results. After the completion of the study, it is beneficial to share the results and findings with the colleagues, administrators, practitioners, and other functionaries who may find the study useful. The sharing can be done through presentation in seminars, conferences, and also publication in journals, newspapers, etc. One is individual teacher research. Here, the teacher finds that some particular problem is affecting his class irrespective of his constant efforts in maintaining the standards of the class. Hence, it is the felt problem by the teacher to improve the standards of the class. This type focuses on a single issue, and the problem may be related to different aspects like classroom management, instructional strategies, use of materials, or even student learning. For example, despite the teacher's constant saying, some students regularly come late to his class, and this may be a problem that needs immediate solution. Second type is called collaborative action research. Here, the teachers of the same grade or class find a common problem that is affecting their classes despite their constant efforts in enhancing the academic achievement of their classes. They all work together to find a solution to the problem. For example, most of the students of class 9th in all the divisions of the school find difficulty in solving trigonometry problems in mathematics. Here, all the mathematics teachers of 9th standard come together, they work together and they find a solution. Third type is school-wide action research. Here, the school head or the principal feels a problem which is affecting his school in the academic achievement or any other problem that may affect the prestige of the entire school. In this case, action research has to be done. Example, despite constant efforts in increasing the pass percentage of class 10 students, most students fail in board exams. This is a problem which can be undertaken by action research. The fourth is district-wide action research. Here, the district authorities feel a problem that is affecting the entire district and hence they need to work out and find the reasons of that problem which is affecting the whole district. For example, most adolescent girls in a district are anemic and they are dropping out from the schools before completing their basic education. This is a problem which can be taken up by action researchers. In concluding the discussion on action research, it's important to realize that action research is a methodology which brings about professionalism in our work as well as day-to-day life activities. The most significant feature of this approach is to bring out changes in either the methods, inputs, interpersonal interactions, or a combination of these factors to reach the defined activities. Thank you so much.